Belonging to Benefit the People in the Program by Dawn Gross. Have you ever been on a campus tour with a tour guide that seems to be having the perfect college experience? Or you have multiple tour guides that seem to be the best of friends? Each university across the country has a program in which students can apply and join to showcase their school to other prospective students. In an ambassador program at Weber State University, there's a lot more that goes behind the scenes of their organization than just giving tours. While giving tours are part of their responsibilities, they are assigned into partnerships for high school recruitment activities and orientations, as well as campus tours. With working in close quarters with one another, ambassadors may experience interpersonal communication conflicts and struggle with feelings of inclusivity. Prior researchers have found that extracurricular involvement and participation in various student organizations can positively influence feelings of belonging for college students. The present study sought to expand upon existing knowledge about organizational belongingness by examining how communications influence feelings of belonging for organizational members, specifically for students at Weber State University. The study also sought to examine how feelings of belonging impact perceptions of the ambassador experience. Looking deeply into this ambassador organization and the identity of these ambassadors, we propose this research question. In the ambassador program, how does communication influence feelings of belonging for organizational members? Methods. For the study, the researcher interviewed 3 ambassadors who were currently ambassadors at the time and 2 ambassadors who had left the program a few months before. These included a female, 18 years old, Hispanic, first generation, first year in the program, male, 24, white, transfer student who has had 2 years in the program, female, 22, white, 3 years in the program, male, 24, white, in the program for 3 years, male, 25, white, in the program for 4 years. This provides a variety of majors, length of time in the program, age, and other demographic information that can influence the research. Typically, there are about 25 to 35 ambassadors within the program, so our sample size of 5 equates to about 1/5 or 1/6 of the program. For recruitment, the researcher chose to use convenience sampling, so a recruitment email was sent to each ambassador, and since the researcher is also an ambassador, receiving contact information was fairly easy. Data was collected using face-to-face interview methods. The structure used for the interviews was a semi-structure. This method allowed for us to have a guide for the interview, but have the flexibility to ask follow-up and probing questions to dig deeper into a topic or experience. The interviews range from 30 minutes to 65 minutes in length, and we used TEMI which is a transcription service to convert the recorded interviews into transcripts. The interviews were all also conducted in an empty office, library, or a home. The data analysis method that was used was the grounded theory approach. This allowed us to do 4 things. First, become familiar with the data. Second, code the data. Third, identify categories that emerged. And fourth, compare and contrast categories that had emerged. The results. This study is focused on how communication influences feelings of belonging for those who are part of the organization. Through the framework of constant comparative analysis, the findings showed that positive network involvement contributes to feelings of belonging for ambassadors. By receiving recognition, developing friendships, and communicating high expectations, there is a stronger sense of belonging for an individual in that organization. Receiving recognition. A quote from what one of our participants said in their interview was, open quote, "My favorite year in the program was the year I was the most involved, and the recognition and appreciation I received while I was so involved," close quote. This kind of feeling of recognition brought by other ambassadors to that ambassador, as well as the professional staff that worked in the office that gave recognition and appreciation and showed appreciation to that ambassador, helped that ambassador feel that they were a part of something bigger than themselves. One participant also elaborated a little bit more about the recognition that she gives to other ambassadors. In her own words, true, because our ambassadors work really hard to tell students why they love this school. And I think their examples and their experiences really influence those who they take on tour and who they talk to at high schools. Developing friendships. In one of the interviews, the ambassador really focused on how the friendships they had made in the program shaped into how they became the ambassador that they are in their college experience. In their time as an ambassador, they say, making connections with other ambassadors, I think, makes me feel more comfortable with them, which is really good. I feel like I can give a tour with you and you're not going to judge me, and I'm not going to judge you if we mess up or if we struggle for words. We're just both there doing the same job. We know that sometimes it's easy to slip up on tours, but we're there to support each other, close quote. In another interview, an ambassador really expanded on how the relationships built outside of the program really shaped how they acted and how they gave tours inside of the program. They said, people hanging out with me just because it was me helped me feel like I was more part of the team. They didn't have to hang out with me, but they wanted to. And that's what helped me feel like I was really a friend to them. Close quote. The data showed that when an effort was made to get to know other team members and to build relationships with them, it not only benefits the individual feeling like they're belonging, but also positively affects the program as a whole in the quality of their work. The expectations that ambassadors have for each other were more relationship-based as well. In Sam's words, ambassadors expect other people to reach out to them instead of themselves reaching out. This can create a tension that can move a group to form cliques or to purposely leave others out, which can tear the unity of the team apart. There was a disciplinary action strike system made that if an ambassador didn't show up for an event that they were expected to be at, they received a strike. And if an ambassador receives 3 strikes, they're out of the program. In one interview, the ambassador pointed out that these expectations had helped them grow and develop to have a stronger work ethic. We found that through all these interviews, when there are high expectations, it helps the ambassador feel that there is something that they can strive together for, that they can raise the bar as a team and excel. These experiences that ambassadors go through can deepen their relationship with each other and in turn build a stronger sense of belonging. Discussion. Overall, the studies help shed light on the positive impact that communication has on helping a person belong in an organization by positive network involvement. This means that the more individuals who feel valued and belong to a group, the more it can benefit the program as a whole. This can change the way the program works externally as well as internally. This kind of research can benefit any organization seeking to strengthen the bonds that are within. Feeling like you belong is more than just playing team building activities, but it opens opportunities to receive recognition, build friendships, and reach expectations set by each other, which positively benefit the organization. This can also be implemented in cohorts, in the workplace, and even a family. Some limitations of this research includes the timing of the interviews. Most interviews were taking place at the end of the school year, which ambassadors tend to be a little bit more on edge and have more negative feelings around that time of year. The position of the researcher, I was currently an ambassador with them, and so it could have affected how they didn't want to share some information, but we hoped that it actually opened up a conversation with each participant because there was already trust built there, and opportunities to interview different groups could have expanded more of the umbrella of the research instead of focusing on one specific group. In conclusion, findings revealed that positive network involvement contributes to feelings of belonging for ambassadors. By receiving recognition, developing friendships, and communicating high expectations, there is a stronger sense of belonging for an individual in the organization. Further, participants reported that feelings of belonging also contributed to a more positive experience within the program and a greater enjoyment of the work. These findings demonstrate the importance of fostering group belongingness in student organizations to encourage investment in programs and encourage higher quality work performance among members. This research also played a big part in how the program was run the following year that this research was conducted. There were a lot of changes made based off of the comments and ideas that these interviews had given the researcher. Since the researcher then became president of the program that year, which also brought in a lot of change into the program. This change has possibly impacted the program, as we have found that receiving recognition and developing friendships and communicating these high expectations has led to one of the best years the ambassador program has ever had.